I was probably gonna hit the button because I wasn't because I just reset everything. It might kick in. But hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, so you already know it is time to go deep into another series. And the one we're going deep into now is going to be The Witcher. We're going to be restarting it from season one. And I haven't seen season one. I believe Fandom hasn't seen it, but AK has. So the usual 2-for-1, and we're gonna make it happen. So the two coming down that hole with me today are, of course, the one, the only AK of Exandro. What's happening?
AK of Sintra. That is actually the elven name for where Ciri grew up.
There you
and
go.
Yeah, I'm here. I was touched by the plague over the past few days. Luckily, though, I am vaccinated, so I'm not doing too bad.
Excellent. Look at you. Yeah, it's coming all around, man. It's I feel like it's closing in on me. It's everywhere now. It's like, oh my God, gotta stay safe out there, everybody. Oh, but we got another fellow traveler with us, the one, the only Fandom D Warlord. What's good with you?
Oh, shit, I meant Warlock there. Oh my gosh, slipped up there. But hey,
I was wondering why you chose Warlord.
I might even keep it. Who knows? But hey, Phantom these days. Just like what DJ said, I did not see the first season. AK has, so every time I'm gonna say something, I'm just gonna just tune my ear towards her, reacting to everything we say. And also, the elves deserve better. Damn it! Why? Why?
Oh, they get the L's wrong in this show.
We just now getting started. Just wait, man.
Oh,
Humans
no.
ain't shit.
Oh my God. Well, we're getting started with it. Like I said, Phantom and I have not seen it, so this is our first watch through. AK is going to help guide us. She has seen it already, and we're going to get it started with The Witcher, Season 1, Episode 1, The End's Beginning. And in the beginning, see what I did there? We're going to show, we're showing that not all is as it seems, and yet sometimes it is. It's like coming from different angles at all times, like a scene with that deer by the pond who we thought was about to get got by that monster in the water. Well, he did get got, just not by the monster we were expecting. Like, I don't know. Was this kind of opening? Were you kind of holding off what you were feeling about it, Phantom, or did it grab you right away, or were you like, "What the hell am I watching?" Or how'd you feel about this first little monster fight?
So first off, was like the arachnid like just sleeping in the water or something, and then the Witcher attacked it? Because it was just so still, and all of a sudden, boom! This thing just comes out, and they're both fighting like crazy.
Oh yeah, they're battling, and like, how long can the Witcher hold his water? Like, how unhuman is he, AK?
They can do a lot. A lot. That's pretty much the only word you could put for it. I would liken it unto Gandalf fighting the Balrog while they were falling. I think that pool was somewhat deeper in parts than we know. That's why when they were fighting, we couldn't see either of them. Like the water was barely even rippling because they were that far under. So it was weird that when it died, it didn't really even sink down all the way. Maybe that was just some witchy thing that Geralt was doing to give himself more room. I don't know. But that poor deer, he almost made it out.
At lunch. I feel there's going to be like a lot of these double meanings and switches happen throughout this series. Like, did you notice that while you're watching this, Phantom? Like, there just seemed like they would say something and it would be meaning actually something else that was going to happen to somebody else in that same situation.
No, I didn't feel that way for now, at least.
I have a question.
I felt like that every scene. What's up, AK?
Have you guys noticed how they're doing the storytelling?
Is in,
are you able to follow everything?
It seemed like it was almost like a 2 different timelines or something.
There's 3 different timelines.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I asked that because I know a lot of folks when they first saw it were confused. So if things were scrambling in your brain, keep that in mind, and then once you know that, you're able to piece everything together, and they'll all culminate together by the end of the season.
Mainly by the second episode, I was like questioning this whole timeline thing.
What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. What'd you think about this? Did you know that there was 3 different timelines right out of the gate, or did it take a minute to kick in? I didn't realize there was 3 different timelines. It did seem like there could have been 2 just because of what happened with Gerald out in the woods with the girl. But yeah, it definitely. I mean, the way.
Oh, you said 3?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was just 2.
They've shown different connections already, and this isn't a spoiler. So I'll go ahead and say, just to give an example to keep it fresh in your head. Before Siri left the castle, her grandmother sent one of the guards to go find. When she said bring him, she was talking about Geralt there.
Huh.
When he came back, he's like, no, he's already gone. That was the first connection of the timelines right there.
Oh wow!
And as it goes through, you'll see little more links like that. So just be on the lookout so it doesn't like confuse you, because there are some parts that are iffy.
Yeah, Peter Griffin says he figured it out around the 4th episode.
Mhm.
So maybe in the next 2 that'll make a little more sense. Because right now
that's about when I figured it out too.
They're still just trying to introduce stuff. I mean, there is a lot going on. I mean, they're trying to go a little GOT style, and I mean, just a lot of names, a lot of cities, a lot of just different places.
I think that's why they did the timelines the way they did, because there's so much to put in there.
And we saw right away that The Witcher is not exactly the most popular kid in town. Like, no one seems to have much love for this guy. I'm like, if this is the monster killing man in my town, I'm going to buy the man a beer every time I see him. I don't know what's wrong with these people.
Well, they are prejudiced towards like what's their kind called, the Witcher kind or something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
it makes
towards Witchers.
sense. Yeah.
Never mind, they want to pay these people to take care of all the horrible monsters that they can't take care of. But you won't come in and try to tell this man to get out the bar or whatnot. Like, bro, come on, man. Come on.
Take all the seats. What's up, Jake Cruz? I see you out there.
AJ.
There is one lovely lady, however, that kind of felt like I did, and she was showing him some love. She even seemed to have some significant amount of pull in the local dive bar. I was like, who is this little lusty lady? But yeah, it's like all the guys actually listened to her. Even the bartender who didn't want to serve the Witcher listened to her. So it was like, who is this woman, and how does she have so much pull? I was interested right away.
She's a great character. Hey, Linda.
Oh, we got Linda R in the chat. What's up? Welcome. Like, we see the Lady Renfrey can toss back the grog, but gets a little critical of her new drinking companion's clothes. Like, why was she hating on this man's wardrobe so much, AK? I thought he looked kind of dope.
No, it's just Renfrey. Renfrey has a chip on her shoulder, and I can't blame her. You know, they did discuss a little bit of her backstory that for these 2 episodes that you guys have seen, but there's a lot that goes into her character and that anger and the cynical part of her. It's not that well explained on the show, unfortunately. I think they could have done a lot more with her character, but yeah, she's just being her regular old cynical self and talking shit just to try to feel Geralt out and see where his head's at. That's all it is.
Very good. Phantom, how messed up is that little girl who snatched the Witcher away from Sindri? She like talking about her dog that died mysteriously and how she just killed a rat earlier that day by sticking a fork in its belly. Like, who is this little monster?
Exactamundo. Who is this little monster? Is she gonna grow up to be like a new big bad or something in this damn town or whatever place? Like, what do they say? Like, signs of a serial killer or a psychopath? Like, you're killing like animals in your youth. Like, I'm keeping my eyes on this one.
She a hustler. She a hustler, man. She trying to do what she can do to bring some money home.
I don't trust this little girl right out of the gate. You are not a normal little girl. Something wrong with you. Talking about all this murdering.
It's hard out there on the streets.
And then while talking nonstop, the little murdering psychopath leads Geralt like to the sorcerer under the pretense that he would buy the slain monster. Lies. Oh, this little girl. Now look at this little girl. And then once he arrives, he enters his home, and boy, it was like walking into Eden, just naked women everywhere. I was like, that was my kind of spot. How about you two? Could you live in a palace like that?
Of course.
Oh, my kind of entry. I was like,
although none of it was real, though, so I don't know. They're suspect titties.
Oh man, I don't know if that's the illusion I'm living in. It's like I'm all in. Let's do it. Keep me up. It's like keep me lost. But he was met pleasantly enough, but like. It's quick to the point out like the reality of why he's really brought there, which he kind of shows like the Witcher's pretty quick. Like it doesn't seem like anybody's going to be able to pull much over his eyes.
No, like very small amount. Yeah, he's a very intelligent dude, and he can read the room quicker than any other character that's in like the main lead role that I've seen, and that's just down to his training and his years of experience of fucking bullshit. And he just don't take the bullshit. He sees what it is. He says what it is, and if you don't like it, oh well, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah, he calls it out quick. I love that about him. And then Bragabor says he seems to remember witches don't feel much of anything. Does he know, like, through word of mouth or from past days of torturing witches and experimenting on them, fandom? What do you think?
Who that?
The sorcerer guy that he went to meet. Yeah, he's like, I seem to remember witches don't feel much. How would he know that? Because of, like, his own past tortures or just word of mouth, you think?
What's his name?
I think it's a bit of
Singapore.
both, honestly. Because the way he was talking about before, like he was experimenting on these other maidens or whatever who was like born under this, like, what was it, black sun or
Yeah.
eclipse or whatever. So I'm like, either you know from word of mouth or you killed a witcher in your past and been experimenting on them, doing biopsies.
He's been down in them black cells doing some.
Yeah, Strangleborg is a piece of shit, man. Like, I really wish they would have done a little more with Renfri's character, because then you would really see how evil his ass is.
Oh man, that's just crazy. And we find out the sorcerer wants none other than the nice woman from the pub who was so generous buying drinks to be killed. I was like, okay, I already don't like you. Like, she's one of the coolest characters already, and you want her dead? Like, yeah, I got a problem with this man. I don't trust him. I do not trust him. And it was cool, like a cool little scene with the back and forth of the king and the princess during the knighting ceremonies. Like, you know, that's probably just how it would be too. Just standing up there all bored, just waiting for it to be over, talking shit to each other like that. Like,
minor correction. He's the queen's husband.
That's
not
true.
actually.
I call him the Queen's Booth out here too, so it's funny.
That's fitting. He's Bay. That's very fitting.
That's funny that I called him King right there.
And he's a great step grandfather, so yeah, he's a good dude.
And he's like, let me go drink on whatever, and, you know, you're ready to I'll perform my bed duty chamber or my bed chamber duties when you're ready. Like, the little princess is like, ew, gross, but kind of figured it was all good. Like, I don't know, that was a cool little thing.
He reminds me of one of my uncles. Just one track mind on the random fuckery. That's always hilarious. And, you know, everybody needs a jovial person like that in their life.
Absolutely. That wizard tells the Witcher a story about a demon goddess born to kill all the world, and to me it seemed like he was saying whatever he needed to get the Witcher to do his dirty work. And, like, were you buying that story at all, Phantom, that Geralt should kill the woman for him when she was talking about Lilith and all the women, and that she needed to die?
I believe in this prophecy, but does they really need to die as the thing? Because, like, is it some type of, like, fulfilling, like, prophecy that they inevitably, like, bring forth this Lilith type individual or not?
That part right there. He skewed what the actual prophecy was. And he fucked up a lot of girls, like Geralt said when he called him out. A lot of innocent women were killed. Renfri was probably the only one, I think, that was actually able to get away because she was that strong.
Maybe, because how it looks like, what's your name, Siri? Or Sierra? Like, she seems to be one of these kids of this damn prophecy.
No. Siri's something else. No, she doesn't have to do with the Black Sun thing. No.
The way how that other sorcerer was talking about, like, because remember he made that comment saying that sorcerers like me would, like, lock you up, like, in a tower, which was something that some guy was talking about. He was doing.
There's a reason for that, but I can't tell you because it's a big plot point of what Ciri is and what her purpose is. You'll see.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna get it. And I was pulling a fandom on that one. I was on the fence about that. Like, is little Ciri one of these women that they're talking about? Because she's definitely got some powers, but yeah, I don't know. It feels like it might be something more than that. Mm-hmm. She might be doing something more. Oh, the darkness the sorcerer talked about in Renfri seems to be like tenfold in Marlika, that little girl that was talking about doing all the killing of the animals earlier. Like, that little girl works for him. Why isn't he worried about her being part of the 61 Willits women fandom? Like, here to take out the world.
Seemed like that girl was just normal.
Pretty sure she was just normal.
You think she's normal? I don't think that.
I mean, well, relatively normal. I mean, yeah, she's going around killing pets for money, but she's not magical in any way, I think is what fandom meant. Did you really did he just remove himself? Are you that high?
Because
what's happening here?
Hopefully he clicked the wrong button. If not, I don't know how long the stream is going to last.
Right.
Yeah, I thought the girl was just normal. It just seemed like
Yeah, she's just a normal human, and she's taking these little side jobs and side quests to get by. Like her dad, yeah, I think her dad is like the alderman or something or other, so he makes a decent enough living. But she's restless. You know, like she said, she even like wanted to go with Geralt so she could train to become a Witcher. Also, she's just doing what she can do to get busy. Or not get busy,
no.
but to keep busy, I guess, and or earn her own money. So maybe she can save up enough to leave and go someplace else and do something else. I don't
My
think there's
question
anything
is,
supernatural about her at all.
could you be trained to be a Witcher, or are you just born a Witcher?
No, you have to be trained.
Oh,
And
okay, all right.
and what you'll find out as it goes on, I mean, and it's not a spoiler; it's already set in the rules. Um, a lot of the kids that they send to these schools, they don't survive. It's a, it's
Okay.
it's a very it's a very small amount of them that actually survive the training and the mutation that is pushed on them in their training. There you go. What happened there, man? What was going on?
Oh man, I was looking at something on my thing, and I like went to turn that page off, and I forgot that it was an open tab, not an open page. And so
Good
yeah,
job.
when I deleted the whole thing, when I was like, "Oh my god!" What I'm sitting here
Oh
asking
shit!
questions. I'm
Hold
like,
on,
"Why is nobody answering?"
yo. We got a freaking legend in the chat, Lady Chrissy of Old Stones. Welcome, sis.
What, Chrissy
Miss your
Wilson?
face. Thank you for coming to check us out.
Been way too long. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, and happy New Year. Oh man, what did I miss? Yeah, I was asking questions. I'm like, then I had to like go because I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, why is nobody answering? And I didn't go back. I go back. I was like, wait a minute,
You
where's
didn't
that?
see that you had clicked yourself off?
No, because the video behind the page I was on was still running. The YouTube page was still running. I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's insane. I don't know what I was doing there. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, how come I was saying fandom? How come the queen didn't have like more of her people like ready to go? It sounds like the Bay's people were like in boats, but there was a storm that held them. But how come she wasn't more prepared for this? Like there was legions of people coming against her.
Even before, it didn't seem like she was like kind of ready or not, because didn't husband say like they were like on the way or something, but she was like skeptical of it. Well, I'm
Yeah,
not 100% sure.
I think she had the army set, but it's really just a numbers game. At the beginning, she didn't have enough numbers, and that's why she sent out the ravens for help. And there was help coming, but then that storm at sea or whatever happened, and they got held up. So yeah, there was no extra help to come back them up. They might have maybe been able to win or at least come to a stalemate, but you could see on the battlefield right when the battle was about to start, they were vastly outnumbered.
Oh, it wasn't even
Hmm.
close. That's
I
why I
mean,
was like,
kudos to her for having the heart and all those soldiers for staying there and still fighting for their home. But yeah, that was a no-win situation.
like I say, like her people were saying later, screw her. Like she was all just always
Yeah,
out for war. All
Yeah.
the
I thought
guys
that
out to
part was
die.
so interesting because yeah, Siri thought for sure, her family was the shit. Like, no, little girl, you don't know what you don't know how to read between the lines.
Oh, they hated her. Yeah, she's like, oh, her and her all her pride. Like, sounds like she was always going to war. So that's why
Hmm
she found
Yeah.
so many.
Because like
She
the
was a
last
warrior queen.
war, yeah, last war she like lost like 3,000 men. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, this that good with few numbers, or what's
I mean,
gonna go down this one?
she was lightweight a conqueror. She her before she remarried to her bay now, her and her and the king, they were out there wrecking shop and pulling lands from people and killing elves and doing all this fuck shit. So yeah, Ciri's been very sheltered from a lot of that.
We see how that worked out. And then, yeah, speaking of that, was the queen's hubby right to warn the granddaughter of like what was on its way? Do you think he should have told Siri about the war that was coming?
Yes.
Especially if the queen's going to be
Hey,
out there.
she's the queen's heir.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
can't have your heir walking around all clueless and shit.
So again, the queen, it's like I don't know how great a queen this queen actually really was because
Hmm
it seems like she was making all the wrong decisions, and that's why she ended up the way she ended up. But I don't know. Maybe we'll touch more on
You'll
it.
see why Siri was so sheltered very well, not very soon, but it'll come up in later episodes.
Well, yeah, because we got to figure out what happened to her parents. Why was there like was the grandma raising her just because she was the next heir and the grandma needed to teach her how to be queen, or did something happen to the parents? Because later
A
on,
bit
she
of both.
says she died when she was a baby. So
A bit of both.
My guess, by accident, she killed her parents. She let out
No.
a scream.
oh,
Done.
No.
I like that. I like that. That'd be amazing.
I'm gonna squat. No, AK rule on seeing the episodes already. I'm gonna say no. Take your tinfoil brain off of that.
That would have been amazing. But during the party, the queen gets the news that the bad guys are here, and she decides to let her granddaughter have one more night of fun and not worry on her last night of probably peace or freedom.
Even
And then
more
we go
stupid.
back and what's that?
I said even more stupid. That would have been the perfect time to clue her in before shit got popping.
On the flip side, it is a little girl, and I mean, if it's going to be a long time until she has another great night, it's like, why not go out on a bang and let her have some fun and remember this?
Or you could have shipped it to a safer place, damn it.
Thank you.
Oh, but then Renfrey tracks down Gerald out in the woods to have a little chat and maybe try to change his mind about who she really is. And you're like, okay, because there's a couple different times where she tracks him down in the woods. You're like, what? Is he just following her and he doesn't notice it? I mean, is she just following him and he doesn't notice it? So that's kind of another thing where you see maybe there's two different timelines. The queen and her boo are out there in the field, like ready to take on their foe, but things aren't looking good as wave after wave crest over the hill. And like we said, they had no chance. They were just severely outnumbered. But give her props for not running and hiding. It's like,
yeah, she had heart.
Like, she's like, let's get it. And then back at the palace, we see how right Grandmama was with as a princess shows like just how immature and ready to rule she was or was not. Because she's sitting there crying about being locked up in the palace for 2 days while all the grown folk are out there just getting absolutely massacred. So
and that's why I say her training should have been kicked in a few years before, and she should have known how to act accordingly and think as a tactician in war. I mean, it wouldn't be too hard to do. We've seen, characters do this at young ages because they've been built up and trained by their elders. Siri should have had that same training.
It seems like Grandmama just kind of wanted to let her be a baby and kind of let her grow up a kid and not too fast. And maybe that's why, but
which
I don't know. Absurd. When you got a rule and when you're actually going to be out there fighting with swords, like maybe you should have had her.
Them lessons start as soon as you can stand and hold a weapon.
And it wasn't exactly Battle of the Bastards, but that battle scene was pretty tight. Like there was some pretty clean scenes in there.
Dude, the kills in that thing, man. Ugh, I freaking love swords.
Oh, what'd you think of that battle, Phantom?
I'm loving it. Netflix got the budget, and they're using it.
Oh, when that dude stuck that sword in his face and then just went in nice and slow to finish it all the way through his skull, I was like, oh my god.
Right. It's like you want to cringe because you could almost feel it, but it looks so fucking cool on the screen.
Yeah, they were not holding back. I was loving it. But then Grandmama gets stabbed up and brought back to the castle to give Siri some last-minute tips. And when she told her guard to check and see if there was enough supplies, I thought she was talking about like food and water for the shut-in. I'm like, those soldiers are going to have your door knocked down before you need to worry about any of that. I didn't realize that the supply she was talking about was enough poison for everybody to have some. Did you get that, Phantom?
Beat that, DJ?
I didn't realize when the queen told their guard to go make sure there was enough supplies. I thought she was talking about food and water for like the holdup for the sit-in they're about to have. But she was talking about having enough poison for everybody to have some. Did you realize that?
Nope, I did not. And then it baffled me when one of that guards was like going around like giving poison to like the guests, and he was giving like 3 to the I think his name was like Martin and his like mother and father. And the father got 2 of them. I'm like, where's yours, sir? Or where's someone else's? I thought Martin was probably going to like get away or something. But no, the mom took it. The son took it. And then he just daggers himself. Like, what the hell, man?
I've been told that poison is a woman's weapon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's pride.
You got your son? You got your son to take it?
Yo, his son was a young teenager. That's still his baby boo. So yeah, son takes the potion, mom's takes the potion, he stabs himself through the neck. He has to go out in the most honorable way that he can see himself. When it's written in the history books, he wants it said that he didn't go out like a punk, basically.
History is written by the winners. It's gonna go out like he went like a punk bitch.
It don't matter. It's just his pride.
I thought that was pretty cool of him. Like they were worried about not having enough supplies, so he made sure he had enough for his wife and his boy to be taken care of. And then he's like you said, he manned up and was going to do the manly thing.
Yeah.
He's like he'll save his bottle for another woman or child that's in the castle since they're
Yeah,
running
I
low.
totally understood why he did it.
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool, and the fact that they kind of played that out, I thought that was hella tight.
And then it was weird though, because then you see the first person they gave the poison to in a previous scene, like she was like saying something to herself or whatever, and then you don't really see anything of her again. And the next thing you know, she's drinking the poison. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell here?
Yeah, just like Ned Stark says, poison is a woman's weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm kind of with Jake though. I don't kill myself. I'm taking a few of them bastards out with me. It's like I gotta die. I'm taking a couple of you bastards with me.
I'd rather that, Jake.
You better be crafty though, because if you don't get got and like get got quick, I mean, you heard what old girl said. They are lighting your feet on fire. They're pulling out your entrails while you watch. Like they are.
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, I don't know that I would go guns blazing unless I was highly trained. I don't think I would go out guns blazing like that. I would need to be on like Blackfish or Arthur Dane level of fighting, like Barristan Selmy level of fighting to go out like that.
You wouldn't be like Jake, just find a sword and go poke somebody. Oh man. Renfrey creeps up on Gerald once again for one last shot at changing his mind, and nothing else is working, so she uses what she has left, and something not even the Man of Steel was able to resist, fandom. It's like, I mean, can you say no after that? This beautiful woman comes and finds you in the woods. I mean, aren't you just going to do what you want to do to make her happy?
Goddamn right.
It's like, that's just what it is. Like, not even the Man of Steel could resist. Exactly. He seems to talk her out of the revenge plot, but then it seems like she slipped him a roofie at some point because the details got a little cloudy there, and he woke up alone. So, is that when you kind of start realizing that there's more than one timeline going on, AK?
Right around there, yeah, you could tell, and as soon as he wakes up, especially from the dream, because he's only dreaming about things that Renfrey actually told him. And these are from Renfrey's own dreams. Like that's a part of the power that she has, is to have these premonitions.
Because I was like, were those even dreams, or was like this different timeline, or was he predicting the future? Like it was hard to tell what was going on there.
Yeah, it was something from Renfrey's dreams, what she was seeing, and she was trying to get him to pay attention to it, and also I think using that to distract him. So yeah, that was basically it. As soon as he woke up and she was gone, I was like, yeah, well, we know what's about to happen there. And yeah, Chrissy is right. Nilfgaard are fucking savage, man. Absolutely. I mean, the only good thing I could say about them, I guess, is that there were probably no random rapes because they just go in for the kill.
Peter Griffin says everyone says they won't talk until a leg is lopped off. It's like then the chirping that starts. Oh, what's up, Valor Margolis? Welcome.
What up?
Oh man, absolutely. When the gates are breached and it's time for the princess to flee, Mima says, "Be brave. You're the lion cub of Sintra." She didn't want to go, and then literally gives out a roar. Like, is that the sorcerer's story coming true, or is like Citri like one of the women, like I was asking before, or we just figure, like I said, already said, like this, she's something way more powerful or something different completely.
Yeah, that was my guess. But AK here seemed like she's like, maybe not. But she's something on not human. She's definitely something unhuman.
Oh, for sure. More than.
Now I'm really questioning, like, especially when it's in episode 2, like, who's her parents? Is she like half elf or something?
We don't know. Yeah, we got more questions coming. Or is she some other kind of great power? Like, on that note, why was her grandmother raising her and not her mom? Like, again, we need to figure out what happened to her parents. And at first, yeah, like I said, I thought it was so grandma could just teach her to rule, but I think there's something happened to her parents because she said that they died when she was just a baby. So, and then when the guard is passing out poison, that was cool. How, like we said, that the guy only took 2 and then killed himself. Like, that was pretty dope. But man, he stabbed himself in an intricate way that was just ridiculous. Like, already had the spike in his throat and then like brought down like a stone or something to chisel it through his neck. That was, I don't know, that was pretty gruesome. Like this show's trying to get its best Game of Thrones on for sure. And then Siri tries to flee while Mima gets her King Toman on, and basically, of course, the escort ends up taking an arrow through the neck when she's trying to get away. And like, I know you just took an arrow, my guy, but can you let go of the princess and not drag her down to the ground with you?
Again, fuck them kids. I blame Siri for that because
What?
no, listen. When they got her out, they heard off in the distance. They saw there were horses coming, but there was still enough time for them to get on the horse and jet down the little corridor and around the way to get to the gates. However, Siri's little questioning ass was, why do I have to leave? Blah, 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 blah. Those few seconds, if she wouldn't have wasted that, they could have been on the horse and been out of sight before that dude came from around the corner.
Then the sorcerer, like, we was about to stop and just to like help defend them when he stalled, and then she want to stop and be like, "Oh, don't go!" And then I'm like, "Yo, just keep going."
We don't have time for this. Your city is on fucking fire and being invaded. Get your ass on the horse.
That was insane. That was insane. But I don't know. The way that arrow went through his neck with such precision, I don't think they were getting out of it.
Dude was right behind him. How do you don't miss a target at that close a range?
I almost think that was somebody up on a ledge that did that. Who knows? Yeah, that was crazy. But
from that angle, not impossible.
Yeah.
It was the arrow was too straight. It would have been angled if it was from a rooftop.
So like we were just saying, like, did Renfrey really know the future, or was Gerald just dreaming that? Like, and if so, does that mean that Gerald can semi-dream the future to a degree? Like, it says exactly what happens, and then him in the market all covered in blood, and he'll have to make a choice, and his reward would be a stoning, and he would run. And we see later that's exactly what happened. So was that confusing you, fandom? Like, did he know the future? Was he dreaming? Like, did you realize what was going on?
It seemed like she was a seer, and then she was like able to show him like what she saw.
Yeah.
The stoning did happen, but now it's this girl in the woods. And this is where, again, like in episode 2, I was like questioning the timeline, because I'm like, is Siri the whole thing with is happening her happening like same time or later? Like, Now my freaking iPhone's going off because I think I'm calling it Siri.
You know what that is, though, Chrissy? I think she was planning on fighting until the end, but you know how royal guards are. If she gets too hurt, they're gonna scoop her off the field and get her out of there. At least to go talk to her granddaughter before she dies, and it's the queen. She's not gonna be taken laying down, so she took herself out.
She fought to the end. She had nothing left. Like she had to beg her. She had to beg Siri to go because she's like, "I'm dying here. You need to get. I need to
even more time that Siri wasted trying to ask questions."
Hey, Grandmama should have started that lesson earlier.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're both at fault for that. You're right.
With all the lip those guys gave Geralt, I was really ready for him to show him what was up, and he is nice with his swordplay. And then Renfrey was no slouch either. What do you think of that little battle between those two in the street, fandom?
Loved it. Loved every minute of it. And any other future sword fight in this series, it's going to be one hell of a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And we then see Princess Ciri being galloped away from the city, and she's had enough, so she lets loose some like banshee-like screams that cause chaos for her to like run free. And that was just crazy. It dropped the horses, it brought down that stone pylon. Like, where did that come from? How did that just happen to be there? And then like it makes that massive crater and like splits it up. Like, that girl's got some like white canary like pipes, AK.
Lightweight, yeah, and that was an appropriate response. She doesn't realize exactly what it is she's doing, nor does she know how to like properly tap into it without being in distress just yet. But that training will come later, and she figured out at least a little bit, of her emotions and how to get away from that dude. So if being emotional is like when you first get your letter to Hogwarts, some random shit has happened because you were in distress for something, and then poof, magic. She tapped into that. So yeah, that happened, and she got away. So now she's the girl in the woods.
Oh, Dear Crucis, I didn't realize it was booked. Just thought it was a game until recently.
Oh yeah. It was, the books came first. A Polish author, I believe, if I remember correctly.
I remember JD talking about that. Like he's
Yeah,
saying like
yeah.
it was the
JD
series is gonna be like based on the
Mhm.
books, not the video game.
Yeah, and he's gone through both. He's played the game and read the books.
Absolutely, Linda. Sometimes it's nice to just be able to kick back, zone out, and watch the TV show. Or audiobooks are great too. Absolutely.
Yeah, Audible saves my life at work, bro. I have that on all day.
Absolutely. But back in the village, it was bad enough when the sorcerer turned on him, but even when little Marlika said, "Don't ever come back," I was like, wait a minute.
Oh,
But then I was like, or were they right? Like, and Renfrey really did do a number on Gerald that messed with his mind. Like, maybe she really did just have him under his spell or whatever. What were you thinking about that, Phantom?
Man, that was a dagger to the heart. I'm like, damn, little kid was just following him around, and then when this happens, I'm like, really? It's gonna turn on him like that?
Like that. Oh,
What do you expect from a kid who was like killing rats and dogs? Damn it.
I mean, not only just her, but like the whole damn village. Do you motherfuckers realize this chick said that she would kill everybody in the damn village just to get to Stregobor? And you want to look at Geralt like he's the butcher, like that's what they call him now, the butcher of whatever the name of the damn town was. Like, what the hell? He didn't just go around slaughtering people. No, these men literally attacked him. He defended himself, and he was trying to defend the damn village. And here you ask it. They're like the freaking small folk of King's Landing, being all finicky with their loyalties and shit. Last week, you assholes were throwing shit at Cersei. Now this week, you cheering on Euron coming down with some prisoners that you've never even heard of before. The fuck is your problem?
Oh yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. But it was just crazy how verbatim that dream actually was and how it went down. So that was I don't know. I had some questions like that. And they said he'll never know if he made the right choice. Is that true, or will you think the answer is going to be revealed someday, Phantom?
Did he make the right choice?
That's what we need to
In
know.
the situation, it's like, was that the lesser evil? Like,
it's a catch-22.
Like, he didn't want to kill her, but she just kept going. He's like, hey, if you're gonna do this dance, it ain't gonna end well for you.
Burn, bitch, burn.
I mean, I totally get Renfrey's stance on what she did, though. And I don't think they did enough to show her backstory, to show exactly why she's so hell-bent on killing Stregobor. He absolutely deserves, like, all of the stabs and to be in all of the 7 hells. I sentence him to Azkaban immediately.
See, there you go. And that's how I felt about that man right out of the gate. I was like, I don't trust this man.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
I didn't trust that little girl. I didn't trust him. I didn't trust none of them. But that was episode 1. That was kind of crazy. I know you got Phantom said he was ready for this trivia. I did not go crazy on the trivia because there is so many. Like I said, I could have made 100 unanswerable questions out of
There's
this.
a lot.
It's incredible. So I just picked a handful. Let's see how many or what anybody remembers, and we'll get through it and get on to number 2. The first question: how much did the girl get for her dead dog?
Damn it!
He thought he was ready.
Hold on, let me check my
notage. I took some notes. Wait a minute. How much did Marlika get for her dead dog? If you know that answer, write it in the chat.
Was that episode 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, please believe. All of them come straight from the episode.
I want to say 4 marks, but I believe that's for Yennefer.
Yeah, that's the second episode. That's what I got written down.
Yeah, that's why I was tripping. Hold on. I thought I wrote that down.
Oh, that's.
I got to go line by line. That's what it is.
Next time, give me warning so I can rewatch a show from 2 years ago. You remember all those names and plots and answers, Linda? Come on, it's only been 2 years.
Like, how dare you not remember?
Right? Question number 2: what creature did the Witcher say wasn't a thing?
She-wolves.
Oh, boom! Excellent. Good job, well done. Where is the Witcher from?
Geralt of Rivia.
See, I had to get a couple easy ones in there because, like I said, there's been some monster questions.
Those will probably be the only easy ones.
I got one more. What is the Witcher's horse's name?
Roach.
There it is. Boom, you guys are crushing it. How long did the sorcerer say Irian had been dead?
200 years.
God dang, maybe I should have went a little harder. You are crushing it. What did the little girl say it was good to have a Kikimora around for?
Population control.
Oh yeah.
Ah, nicely done. That's gonna do it. You guys crushed all of them but one. Are you kidding me? Maybe I should have went in
Okay,
a
well,
little
that was the
harder.
last one. Okay, I got
Yep.
one.
There you go.
I got one. What Game of Thrones actor was in the series or in this episode?
There was one?
You don't have to name the actor. Just give me their character name on Game of Thrones. I want to see if y'all noticed.
Oh no, that was in the next episode. I did not. Was it one of the little merry men that was talking lip?
It was the Queen,
Really?
Maggie the Frog.
Ah,
Wow.
nice. Look at there. Look at that. Nope, I did not even notice that. That's amazing. That is amazing. Knock it up. But that is it for episode 1. What were you thinking right out of the gate, fandom, on this first episode in?
Interesting. Multiple questions. I'm loving the lore that they keep on spewing here and there. And it even goes even more with episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2 almost seemed like a whole new show. I was like, oh man, this is going Game of Thrones. How deep are we going, and how many characters are we going to have to remember? Oh man, even Chrissy of Oldstones forgot about that one. Chrissy of Oldstones? In the name, you can't forget about Maggie? What? Oh, so we gotta
Right?
keep moving right on into The Witcher season 1, episode 2, and this one's called, just like you said a second ago, 4 Marks. And we open up with more magic, and a little crippled girl gets like caught creeping on a naughty couple. And once they see her, they pick her up. They start picking on her so bad that she unintentionally sends herself through some magic portal, and there she meets a magical friend, Istrid. And I was like I said, I was like, is this a whole new show? Like, this is going in a whole different direction.
Man,
Yeah,
I did not like that one. The couple, the chick. How first she's like, "Oh, you got me a daisy. Like, what about a rose?" And he's like, "Oh, but roses are cliche, and daisies are cheap." And then after the kiss, she's like, "Oh wait, where'd my daisy go?" I'm like, "Get out of here!"
Oh,
You know
fandom,
what
you will
that
learn.
is?
That's
You know
a
what that
woman
is?
is what that is. Yes.
No, that is a Karen in the making. That's not every woman. That is a Karen in the making. Medieval Karen. You gonna throw the flowers this man was thoughtful enough to bring for you like they're trash, and then turn around like, oh, where'd they go? Bitch, you just threw them in the mud. What do you care?
Exactly. I was like, here we go. And he sends her home. Her new friend ends up sending her home through another magic porthole. But the woman he was trying to keep from finding her ends up tracking her down eventually. And how brutal was that? She pays 10 marks for the pig and only 4 marks for her, AK. How'd that make you feel? That's awful.
Yo, all I can say to that, Chrissy said Karen Moran. Yo, all I can say to that is her stepdad ain't shit. He really ain't shit, and I think it's really fucked up that her mom allowed that shit to happen. But in that day and age, I get it. There's really not a whole lot her mom could have done to stop it. And honestly, Yennefer needed the training. She would have been wasted just staying in that bullshit village. So yeah.
And we find out later that wasn't even really her dad, so that made it even more like, oh, okay, I see this ass.
Right, that's why he was so easy to do it. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you being an asshole to this girl? It's not her fault. She was born like that. And then we find out what her lineage is, and I think she only came out with those deformities as some type of curse that somebody did because her mom was with an elf, which is really suckish.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, at least he did try to get 6, but just ended up letting her go for 4.
I mean, right? Like, damn, only 4 marks though? Yo.
Brutal. Oh, poor thing, trying to be all hard, saying like she wasn't going anywhere, trying to stand up to this woman while just like covered in pig slop head to toe. I was like, this poor thing.
And that's the first show and the first taste that we get of Yennefer's heart. And she is not a chick that just goes down easy in any situation. She might fail, but she's going to get back up and hit you with that 1-2 shot and fuck you up later.
Yeah. And like we saw, just the way she was even trying to feed the pigs, like he's like, let that go of that. She's like, I can do it. So, I mean,
and she would have done it if he wouldn't have came over there and interfered and shit.
Oh, no, she's got the heart for sure. So, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, she's going to go places. And you see that look the witch gave her, like, no, you are not already disobeying me. I was like, ooh, this ain't going to end well. This would have to be a problem,
It's some hard lessons to learn at magic school.
right? Getting to Hogwarts, you're gonna learn a thing or two.
Right.
And then, of
See,
course,
no, she ain't going to Hogwarts. I say she's going to Durmstrang. Durmstrang's the one where the Karkaroff was in charge. That militant shit. That's where she's going.
You cut. So of course she gets locked in her room, and I gotta say, like, I could have done without all the excessive snot scenes that were coming out of there. That was just disgusting. But we see the prince. What's that?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
We see Princess Sirius still on the lam, and luckily she meets a friend that like stops her from eating some poisonous berries. So it's like, oh, this is gonna be a cool little relationship. And I like how he like offers her a rat, but then she's like, I don't eat rat. Like she changed her tune real quick when he offered her to her all grilled up fandom. You gonna eat that if you're that hungry?
Of course, I'm gonna eat that. I'm out in the wilderness. Like, come on now. I know at one point you were like eating turkey and ham and yams, all that crap, but hell, it's all gone now. So you better adapt quick, or you're gonna be starving.
It has been 3 days. If you don't do what the hell you got to do to get some food in your stomach to survive, what the hell you think is going to happen to you?
Oh,
See, this is why I'll always praise George R.R. Martin for writing Arya the way he did, because she had the street marks without even having to be brought up in the streets. She didn't give a fuck about snapping a pigeon's neck.
And as they stumble on through the woods, they happen upon a Saturnian camp full of her people, and she's like, oh, yes. She goes running towards it, but then turns around and notices, like, he wanted no part of it. He just disappeared. So
At first, I thought that they were like the enemy disguised as her people, but then it turned out to be actually her people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been walking up with some caution on
You
that
know
one.
what, though? How absurd were they to have that large of a camp?
And not
so close to where everything was. Like, y'all should have kept moving.
Or on the flip side, would they have been fine there if old girl would have never jumped off that horse and just gone to wherever they were trying to take her? Like, I think they've only found that camp because they had search parties out looking for Siri.
Actually, you're right.
That might be possible. I honestly don't remember how they found that camp, but it's possible maybe there was some type of magical tracker, because the guy that lost her couldn't track her like physically. There's no way that he could have crossed that gash in the earth that she caused. So that's interesting to think about. I will have to look out for that on my rewatch of the next episode. You might be onto something there.
Because he was there at the end of the episode.
Yeah. He did. Yeah, he did show up.
What's up, Christian Oles? I see you out there. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Christian in here too, yo. What's good, Christian?
Peter Griffin says he's just adding some garlic to the rat, and it's chow time.
Garlic is the magic ingredient. Never skimp on it.
Oof. So we have Superman just trying to brood in peace at the local tavern, but some karaoke wannabe just will not shut up. Like, even follows him out the door uninvited. I will say that he seems to be smarter than the average bear, with a quick wit and a mind that pieces things together sooner rather than later. But fandom, what were you thinking about this little bard?
I despised them. I thought I was going to be actually liking the character, but near the end of the episode, I'm just like, man, get him out.
Oh, he got a voice though.
He's annoying. He's annoying on purpose. He'll grow on you though. Just
I don't know. I see he already has a Funko Pop. I'm not gonna buy that.
He'll grow on you. Why do you think everybody for like 7 months when season 1 came out was singing "Toss a coin to your witcher"? It's because of that fucking dude. Look, trust me, he's gonna grow on you.
Oh, he's got a voice. I was like at the end. I was like,
yeah, he can actually carry a tune. That's great.
In the pub, he's like trying to rhyme potion with abortion, and he was whacking.
Why are you singing about abortion? Why are you singing about abortion? Why you're in medieval times? Why do you even know what that word is?
And badly, like wasn't singing well either. Like, just totally singing about it.
Like he had me up until he started singing about abortion. Like, wait a minute, bro, this song just took a complete left turn.
Oh, it was awful. Absolutely right. He knew what was up because he got everybody to throw their bread at him. He's like, shit, I'm going to eat for the next couple of days. He's like,
you know what? That might have been part of the plan. He's a hustler like that.
Oh, he ain't eating no rat.
They throwing shit at me. Okay, I'm going to take this. This is going to be my meal for the next week.
He said, I got a pants full of bread. Oh, man. But on the way out the door, the Witcher's offered a job to get rid of a grain-stealing devil. And he's like, my man does not miss a dime. He's like, you paying? Let's get it. And he's a good bargainer.
Yeah, he upped the price, and dude did not bat an eye. Like, he came prepared for that. Yeah,
I
see,
questioned
and
it
that's
because then he was like offering like 100. Witcher says 150. Then he just takes out the money. They didn't bother to count it or anything. So how you know it's 150 in there, Witcher?
The Witcher, yeah, it's like he could just read them. He's like, I can tell exactly how much
true
coin
enough.
you have on you.
Yeah, I think Geralt would have known. Well, Geralt's clever enough to know from the weight of the bag, and like I said earlier, he can read the room and read people really quickly and very accurately. So I think he would have known if the guy was lying. Yaskir, yes, Valar Morghulis. Thank you. I remembered his name from the books, which is Dandelion. I could not think of what they named him on the show. Yaskir.
So then we get back to Yennefer, who gets awoken and told that she gets to live, and she tried to take her own life last night, but Tessia saved her. And she treats her like shit and calls her Piglet all the time, but she must really want her, or she would have just let her die that day or last night, right, Phantom?
Correct, Mundo. Like she saw potential in her the moment she appeared in that tower. When I'm guessing she used the daisy that fell on the floor as a conduit. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like she saw it. She's like, I'm gonna keep you around. But seriously, keep calling her Peglet, just a constant reminder that her, foster father, like, pretty much sold her for less than a damn pig. Tragic.
Yeah, it was so
I
bad.
it's easy to look at it that way, but I don't think it is. And I know y'all can't see it yet, but as you watch these episodes, and especially when we get into season 2, you're gonna see she actually cares quite a bit for Yennefer. Like
It seems like
she looks at Yennefer literally like Yennefer is her daughter. Like she takes care of her, she vouches for her, she makes sure that through all this fuck shit, Yennefer sees that she's powerful and she can do these things and so much more if she applies herself.
even at
Oh,
the end of the episode, it hints to that. Like she's saying, like we both kind of use like emotion. So
Yeah,
so it's like, yeah,
yeah.
I
She
think she
sees
liked it
what
when she actually
Yennefer's
stood
worth
up to her.
is.
When she first bought her and she stood up to her and like, you can't make me go. Like, I think she liked that spunk in her. Like,
Yeah,
I could
and,
feel him
and,
glimmer
and, and,
immediately.
and at that point in time is where she knew even more that she made the right decision to try to come get Yennefer. And
But it
she's
was
absolutely right. She read the room correctly. Yeah, Yennefer is a fucking powerhouse. I can't wait to see what y'all think of her once we get there.
And we see the when the girls are brought together that they're not exactly there on their own free will. Like a girl's like, I want to go home. She's like, this is your home. You do well to listen, or your life will depend on it. I was like, oh man, like you ain't
Yeah,
going nowhere.
I mean, like she lightweight reminds me of Professor McGonagall. Like McGonagall on in Harry Potter, she's the head of the Gryffindor house, but she don't pull no punches with those kids. She shows no favoritism, and if you fucking up, she's gonna let you know, and you're gonna get docked those 50 points for being out of bed at night.
You know, Tissia said just because they're conduits of chaos does not mean these girls can do magic. Yet we already know that Yennefer can create magic because she created a portal from nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's got to be
Yeah,
why
like
it's so into her.
and that's some crazy powerful shit. Like you got to realize how hard actually creating a portal and sending yourself someplace else is in that world. Like you don't just do that on a whim. Yet Yennefer does, and she doesn't know how without any training at all.
And speaking
That's
of
very big.
Yennefer gets mad that she can't lift the rock like the other girls, and she storms away. But on a brighter note, she ends up running back into Istrid, so she's happy again. And little Ciri walks the camp among the people like she will lead one day, and grasp like a better understanding of who they are and what they really think of those who rule them. You think this is going to help her, and this is what her grandma was talking about making her a better ruler, Phantom? Ciri walks.
yeah, I can see it happening this way.
I think that's what we're
Slowly though, but she has a lot to learn.
exactly. But I think she's doing it the right way. And like I said, that's what her grandma said. Like, be a better ruler, be nice to your people. And basically, here she is walking amongst them and actually hearing how they think. So maybe it's going to help her in the end, I think.
The good thing she's not slow because she literally said, "Oh, my name is Fiona," not her actual name.
Oh, yeah. No, you can't. The way she heard him talking, she'd have been in trouble.
Good catch on that.
How sick was that when the women saw Ciri in the tattered shoes and then she made that little person give up the boots to her? I was like, oh, man, this woman.
No.
This woman.
You know what? As soon as I saw her give him that look, I was like, okay, that is absolutely medieval, next level Karen. Like, bitch, I understand he's your servant, but it's winter time. Like you already see people are struggling with the cold, and you want this man to just be walking around barefoot because his boots happen to fit this little girl that you don't even fucking know. Like that, you don't treat your people like that. T-Vol, what's good, kid? Thanks for coming in.
Oh, what's up, TiVo? Welcome back. Welcome back. Absolutely. So Gerald already popped the Bard once, and I would have straight put him to sleep when I told him to be quiet when I was out there hunting that devil, and he all fires back. No, I'm not really into that. I was like, you are into sleeping right now is what you're into.
You know how quick he would have caught an elbow to the damn throat? Shut the fuck up. You know I'm on a fucking mission right now, right? Oh. I just took payment. You saw this shit when you followed me. We don't talk on stakeouts.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I was like, he'd have caught another one right then and there. He's like, no, I'm not into that. I was like, shit. But we once again see that Gerald really does have like a heart, as he realizes that devil could speak and was intelligent, so he refused to kill him, which using such reason does come in handy later and actually ends up saving his life. So kind of like a little entwined to what I think Ciri's going to need to do in her little travels. Like, be nice, don't just kill people to kill them. And I don't know, I like the way they intertwined all the different stories and stuff like that going on.
Indeed. And it gets even better.
And we see Yennefer failing yet another witch lesson, which, I mean, we also see there's no BS in Tessia. Like, she could see through all of the lies. Like, she just Yennefer tried to fake it, and Tessia was onto that shit quick. I was like, how creepy would that be, living with somebody that you could not lie to and knew everything, Phantom?
No privacy, nothing.
No. Like, they're peeping through portals, watching each other. Like, I don't know. This place would be creepy as hell. This is not my kind of Hogwarts. What kind of creepy magic flirting was going on with that in that deaf elf cave, though, AK? Like, did you see that on early on, that those two were kind of hooking up and had a thing for each other?
What are you talking about?
Istrid and
what's it? Istrid? Yeah, see, he gave me red flags from Jump Street. And then once we got a little more into the episode, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I thought he might maybe be legit and maybe I misjudged him. But no, we see later on he's having a conversation with motherfucker Stregobor. Like, bitch, what the fuck kind of bullshit is this? So obviously he's under his thumb. And that means that it can't be anything good for Yennefer. Like, he's clearly using her to get to some point, and yeah, it's I don't think it's gonna lead to good things. I honestly forget how it rolled out because it's been that long since I've watched season 1. But yeah, I think we're all gonna be surprised together once we see what unfolds. I just know that I remember wanting to absolutely kick him very hard in the scrotum, and give that little judo chop to his Adam's apple. So he would just crumble on the floor.
Oh, please believe Chrissy Yellowstone. I'm going to be butchering all the names because they got some crazy names in this show. It's like,
yeah. Chrissy, I hope you follow. We're going to be doing season 1 and season 2, and we're always on every Tuesday night. So I hope you guys are able to come through. T-Vol, I know you're usually not here, so I hope you're able to come through. Vala Magulis, you too. I know Linda, Jake, and Peter are usually here. So everyone else, I'm glad you guys came in. So please join us again next week.
I'm with you, Jake. I'm brutally honest too, like a fault. Sometimes it's terrible, but the truth shall set you free. Oh, this show likes to prove it's more about circumstance above all else. Like how the rich lady feels close and connected to Ciri, not realizing who she really is, and all the while unknowingly like talking nothing but shit about the girl's grandmother and her queen.
You know what? The absolute privilege that comes from that is so ridiculous. Like, the woman says something to Ciri when Ciri tries to jump in line, and again, that's privilege because Ciri's thinking everyone should know that she's the princess. So she doesn't think twice about trying to jump in line. And then the boy comes up, says, I recognize that design. My father made your cloak. And he cuts in and grabs something, and no one says anything to him. And then they go back to the tent, and his mom is going off about Maggie the Frog and how idiotic she is and how much of a bitch she thinks she is. And Ciri's sitting there like, wait a minute, but I thought I thought our family was great. How dare you speak of my grandmother like that? It's almost like she had an egg moment from the Hedge Knight, Duncan Egg, because Egg thought that everybody loved the Targaryens too, and he found out very differently on his travels with Dunk.
You get out there and walk amongst the people, you start hearing some hard truth.
And
Absolutely.
Ciri's now hearing that shit, and she's trying to figure out, wait, what the fuck was actually happening? And that's again why I said she needed to be in training from the moment that she could stand and hold a weapon.
Absolutely. Tisha wakes the girls and takes them to the Tower of the Gull to catch lightning in a bottle. And when it was Yennefer's time, she missed the lightning, missed the bottle completely, but yet it immersed in her cut somehow. And then when she was belittled by Tissia, she fired that lightning like a weapon through her fingers. So she's far and away the strongest witch there, right? She just doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah. I'm curious to know what y'all thought about that, because I think I read it a little differently, maybe.
I think she went up to do it. The lightning stabbed her, but yet instead of being hurt, she was able to harness the lightning, not just in a bottle, but in herself, and then utilize it as an actual weapon.
To me, it felt like, she had the bottle, but her focus was so pinpointed that she took it into herself. She just didn't know how heavy it would hit her. And once, Tassia started getting on her, she was able to release it as an attack and pinpointed very well, because if Tassia wouldn't have been quick enough, she would have been hit with that. But Tassia deflected it. And I think that's another thing that clued Tassia in, this chick, there's something extra with this chick. I really need to train and hone in on this one.
Because the other witch, when the lightning hit her, she was knocked out.
Yeah, she was done. Yeah, she couldn't handle that shit.
Absolutely. And she did get a little sparkle in her eye when Tessie compared her to herself. Seems like that's all she needed was just an ounce of encouragement and to feel like she truly belonged somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Tessia looks at Yennefer like that's her actual daughter. And they have a lot of the same traits, so I can see it.
Then we kick back to Gerald waking up in a cave tied to the bard, just getting the crap kicked out of him by a she-elf. That poor bastard. And then they meet Flendor, the king of the elves, and the bard gets a lesson in reality. And that's not all he gets. He finds out that all is not what the songs are made out to be. And Flendor had to break it down. Who leaves their homes on purpose and stars on purpose? How do you think that was
they're
reality?
Good homes with well fertile lands and water and beautiful forests and shit. Yeah, nobody just walks and leaves that.
Right. And I mean, you should have been smarter. And especially this bard who seems semi-intelligent, he should have been smart enough to know that. So that was kind of weird. Or is it just if, enough people believe it, it becomes the truth and he really thought it was that way?
You know what? That's highly possible too. I mean, that's to me, when I first watched it, I remember myself thinking that it's a slight commentary on the way some things are now. In some school systems, there are history books that are saying that, when the conquistadors and all them came over to the U.S., the Native Americans that were there moved to different places so the conquistadors would have a place to live and whatnot. And we all know that is not what the fuck happened in history. So now to see it on this show, it's like they just wrote it as, the elves were there, but then they weren't. And there was no killing or mass murder or whatever. They did. The humans just came in and they had a place there. It's absurd.
Absolutely. Yennefer
does have mad chaos. You're right.
Cannot control it yet because she doesn't believe in herself. Always been self-conscious. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We know she's going to be able to own that.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. The Witcher's becoming quite the philosopher now and tells the king, who thinks he must now kill Geralt or be found a thief, that he must choose the lesser of two evils and that no matter the choice, he will hate himself for it. So, man, Gerald's quick with his. He's quick on the tongue, silver tongue, be able to talk himself in and out of stuff. I like that.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
No, and he wasn't wrong. Absolutely. He was bringing it. And just like Gerald, the king needs to learn how to live with the humans or take his advice and move on and get stronger. Then he can have illusions of grandeur and thinking about taking back what he truly thought was his. And the king's like, man, this guy's making a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
He was getting it in. What was that last scene in the cave? Like Yennefer crying about how she was never going to be able to see Istrid again, and he says, "Of course they will." And then she makes a jape like, "How? By using the same magic portals?" I'd have been like, "Yeah, exactly that." So it's kind of becoming obvious that she was trying to milk him for knowledge for that stronger elfin magic. Did you get that, Phantom?
At that scene, no. Until the next scene, I'm like, dang, she was just playing them.
Oh, it was so ruthless. But Istrid gives her a bite of magic flower, then whispers the connotation in her ear, and she repeats it, which opens a portal. And he wanted to know how she was able to open it on the first try. And she reveals that her father was half elf, and that's also the reason that her body is deformed. So, were you saying you think it's there's a different reason why her body's deformed, AK?
No, I was thinking that there was some type of magical curse or something that happened because her mom and her dad, who was an elf, you know, half elf, yeah. Why? And something in the mix. I don't think it was natural. I think it's something that someone did just to spite them, and it's not ever confirmed. But the gist of what I got was she's that way just because somebody didn't want elves or even half elves mating with humans. So that's why she came out the way she did.
How are you feeling about the old Istrid and Yennefer hookup there, Phantom?
One, I didn't see it coming, and I was honestly questioning her age for like a good hot minute.
Right?
I was like, is she a little girl? Is she a teenager?
No,
is she an adult?
She's in her late teens. I would say 18 or 19. Or well, between 18 and 20 when she's going through all of that.
We do see that it was all set up. We ended up seeing that it was a big setup, and Tessia was testing Yennefer to see if she could control her emotions and get that flower from Istrid. And she said that she wasn't going to use the flower for anything. Are you buying that, Phantom? You think she's not going to use that flower after having it?
Yeah, she's going to use it.
Yeah, she's going to make some kind of spell with it and use it against that guy at some point. AK, probably, you already know the answer. We can't ask you.
I honestly, I don't. Like I said, it's been a while since I've watched season 1. So some things I remember on the rewatches, but not everything. However, I will say that I got red flags from him. I remember that specifically from the first time I watched it.
Right, because it's
and
so
I'm
weird.
seeing all of the red flags again now. He just seems too perfect. And as we all know in storytelling, if it's too good to be true, it probably ain't good.
And then again, we have a game within a game as we find Istrid is working on Yennefer for the sorcerer the same way Yennefer is
as a Stregobor. Yeah. As soon as you add Stregobor to the mix, that means everything is all bad.
Exactly. And then back at the Citrian camp, little Ciri is awakened by screams, and the bad guys are back and pillaging the whole place. And it's like, oh my god. But it was nice to see that the little person got some revenge on that woman who thought she was still in the upper caste. Like, woman, we're all in the same boat here. You're out your mind. Like,
I was not mad at him at all.
What's that?
I was not mad at him at all. She deserved that shit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How dare you treat this guy like that? Like even when she told him to give Ciri his boots, and Ciri looked questioningly. I don't think she looked at it like because he's a dwarf, but like, why are you asking this person to give up his property to me?
And she has no survival skills.
And her response was, "Oh, don't worry, he's one of the clean ones." Bitch, who the fuck do you think you are right now?
Oh, she thought she was running stuff. She thought she was the queen of that camp.
Yeah,
I mean,
she got what she deserved, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Ciri just backing up against that wall. She's lucky old boy came to save her because she would have been dead.
She might have been next.
She would have got. You're gonna take my boots and have me out here catching frostbite? Yep. Here, you're about to get yours. Yeah, he would have done some evil things to her, I think. Yep. And then Ciri backs against that wall, only to have someone slit the tent and pull her out. And hey, it's Rat Boy. Thanks, buddy. Like, you think those soldiers were specifically looking for her, Phantom, like I was saying earlier, or did they just fall upon this camp?
Yeah, they're looking for her, but then it was like, oh, shoot, there's a camp. Let's kill the rest of them.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then back at the tower, Yennefer hears the knock on the doors for those chosen to ascend, but nobody knocked on her door, but she wasn't waiting for an invitation. She grabbed one of Big Iz's flowers and portals on in to take a closer look. And it turns out she should be glad that she didn't get that knock because those that did were turned into sea slugs. I was like, sorry, eels. And Tessia knew she'd be there, and she makes her come forth to like push her new slithery friends into the sea. I was like, oh my god. Sometimes the best thing a flower can do for us is die. Like, that is a twisted line Tessia keeps spewing. Like, luckily for Yennefer, she now sees that it wasn't meant for her. But,
it's twisted as hell. You're right. But again, this is where I'm gonna say that Tassia has a lot of traits of McGonagall from Hogwarts. She don't pull no punches, And Yennefer asked the question. She said, "Well, listen out for the knock." You didn't get that knock, Yennefer, because she knows you're destined for something higher.
Something greater, absolutely. And these girls are just going to be turned into sea
and
slugs.
She knows you're curious. Yeah, and she knows Yennefer is curious. She needs answers, and she's just one of those kids in school that has to have some type of order in their head. I mean, you can call them, and I'll even liken it unto myself. Like, you can call them maybe having like minor OCD, or just being maybe on a part of the spectrum and needing things to happen in a certain order. Yennefer can't do with uncertainties, is what it seems like. She needs to know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, why it's happening, even more importantly. And when she sees all this going down, we see Tassia, when it's done, she says, come on in, Yennefer. She already knew she was there. So, let me explain this.
She knew she was going to be there. She didn't even feel it. She knew she would end up doing that.
Right, exactly. So she said, come on in, Yennefer. Let me explain this to you. This is why it happened, blah, 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 blah. And this is why you did not hear a knock on your door. We don't need you to die for the cause. You have a lot more to learn, and I know you can do this shit. So stop fucking around, and let's get it done.
Absolutely, Linda. You need to rewatch it because there is so much going on. I think I could watch this 3 times and not get everything that there's.
Yeah, there is a lot. That's facts. That's facts.
We see Gerald and the Bard have been freed, and Gerald once again tries to part ways, but the Bard is not taking the hint. Like, the world must have its song. I was like, this guy is the Witcher just going to end up throwing this guy random?
I had an eye roll. I'm like, come on now. Just why is he still here?
Oh my god, I thought the Witcher is just going to end this fool. But I don't know, maybe the Witcher needs a friend too. He's out there talking to his horse, so he needs somebody.
The horse is all he needs, damn it.
Oh, speaking of free, Siri still is, and she's discovered her new friend is actually an elf. Is she going to grow up now being like the better ruler for growing up all these different people and being friends with all different types of people, fandom?
Hope so. At one point, I thought it was like racism because like it was like the black kid never went to the camp, and the moment he never went to the camp, I was screening everyone. And I didn't see like not a single dark colored person there. I'm like, okay, so it's like, what's going on? But then it's like, oh, he's an elf. I'm like, all right. And then we previously heard about how elves are like segregating crap, and it's messed up because it was like the elves, like the original people who actually were practicing magic. They talked to the humans, and look what happened there. God, they don't catch a damn break in the show.
The great cleansing. It was nothing nice.
Yeah.
And
that's what it is all the time. It's not just racism by color as we know it. It's by, I guess, what species, I guess, is what we would say.
It seems like anything that's magical. It reminds me of Merlin. Anyone see Merlin, that TV show?
Which one? Well, I've seen a bit of the TV show. I know mostly the Sam Neill miniseries.
Yeah, the one where I had that guy from Buffy, and I forgot his freaking name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the same thing there. It's like anything magical, they pretty much were segregated, even though at one point in time, like the humans and magical creatures like lived together in harmony.
They were all one people, yeah.
Yeah, so it really reminds me of that.
And they always end up being jealous over shit they don't got.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the great quote unquote great cleansing is what always tends to happen.
Those looks that Yennefer and Tessia gave each other at the end were pretty devious. Is Yennefer definitely going to grow up to be an evil witch, fandom?
Wait, Yennefer? I hope not. I really hope not.
That's what you got from that?
Oh, yeah. The way those two looked at each other, I was like, wow. You're going to be the evil witch of the West.
That, or at least when she, grows older, go visit, that village and be like, how much you offered up for, Marks? Was it? Like, that's
You
the only
know
thing I
what
want.
though?
That's the only thing I want.
You know what? Just because you phrased it like that, DJ, where you said she was gonna grow up to be the Wicked Witch of the West, I would challenge you to go to the theater next time that the show is in your area and watch Wicked. Elphaba, aka the Wicked Witch of the West, did nothing wrong.
She did
All
nothing
right.
wrong. It
She
wasn't her
did
fault.
nothing fucking wrong. I'll explain that on another stream if y'all want to go through the Wizard of Oz lore.
Yeah,
But
that'd be a
nah, the
different
Wicked
one.
Witch of the West was not fucking wicked.
But then Tessia basically said, when you ascend, you're going to go to kingdoms and advise kings. So do you think this little girl, basically, Yennefer, is going to end up advising Ciri when she's queen, fandom?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised in the first episode that one chick who received the poison and was like kind of like talking to herself, and Siri was like walking through was actually her, and she didn't even take the poison.
Interesting. You think that was her all grown up in a different timeline? Or
Could be.
Oh no, wait, say that again.
Remember that one in episode 1 where like Siri was like walking through like the hallway, and she was like happened upon like a guest, and she was like talking to herself. That could have been her in the future, or some other like witch that was just like spying on like a kingdom or something.
When she was walking down the hallways, you went right before dude gave out the poisons?
Yeah.
It was like a character that you don't even remember what happened, but that could be. There's a reason that they showed that. So yeah, that might come back and explain something a little bit later.
I don't think so, but I will put a pin in that and watch out for it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more significant than just seeing people before the end.
She's like, Ciri doesn't have a kingdom yet, Jake. Yet.
No, right. No, at this point in time, she loses her kingdom, and for the better part of season 2, there's a lot of training that needs to go into that. Yeah. Like I said, Ciri's built for a higher purpose. Y'all see what happens as the story unfolds.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to walk.
Could be half elf or a quarter elf at this point.
No, I don't think it's elf, but it is something else. I won't say what because that's a plot point, and we will see that before season 1 is over. It ties into why Ciri's so special.
And that was it for the first 2 episodes. What do you think, fandom? Does it have you pulled in? Are you intrigued?
I am, especially with these damn parents of Ciri now. If she ain't half elf, then what the hell is she? She could be like a witcher at this point too.
I mean,
I'm still questioning that because I was talking to AK earlier when you vanish. It's like, could you be trained to be a witcher? Is witcher like a race? So it's like,
no, you definitely have to be trained to be a witcher.
Okay.
And they said that Gerald's her destiny. So why is Gerald her destiny? Why are those two so linked up? Like, what's their cosmetic?
Put a pin in that.
Does Jared like know her parents or something?
You gonna see? I said put a pin in it. Stop asking the same damn question 20 different ways.
It's
put
Uncle
a pin
Gerald.
in it.
We gotta see what's happening with Uncle Gerald.
I gotta watch the thing damn
it's
weekly.
Not Gerald. Say the man's name correctly. It's Geralt. There's no D there.
I'm gonna be like I said to Chrissy Woldstone. I'm gonna be pronouncing everybody's name wrong because they are just going deep with the names in this one. Oh, but that's going to do it for the first 2 episodes. We just got a couple trivia questions, and we're going to bounce out of here. If you know these questions or you know these answers, write them in the chat box.
Let me take my notes out again.
Right, yeah. Let me see if I wrote down the right things.
Oh, they only missed one last time. Can they keep it alive? Let's find out. Where did Yennefer portal herself to when being picked on?
Tower of
Gold.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. Starting out the right way this time. How much did the man pay the Witcher to rid him of his grain-stealing devil?
First was 100, but then Gary rates like 150.
Yeah,
150 what?
Ducat.
Ah, there it is. Look at him go, folks. Crushing it. Who is the rectoress of Aretuza?
Who's who?
The rectoress of Aretuza.
It's not Istred or whatever his name is. No?
It's not. Rectoress.
Rector, yeah, okay. I don't even recognize those names and terms that you're speaking. So yeah, I don't think I wrote that one down.
What's up, Chad? Anybody know this one? Who is the rectoress of Aretuza? Aretuza. Oh, that one was easier than you thought. It said chaos will kill you without what two things?
A conduit?
That's incorrect. Chaos will kill you without what two things?
I don't recall.
What did they say you needed that? And if you know that, write in the check down below. What did Sabrina do using chaos? What did Sabrina do using chaos?
She
Did she
turned her
turn
mother
her?
fat.
Yeah.
Back on track. There we go. Oh, and we're gonna close it out with a little tougher one. What is Rat Boy's real name?
Oh, I got it down here somewhere.
Hold
Hold up.
on. Dara. Dara.
That's it. That
Yep.
is it. Dara, absolutely correct. Job well done. Even beat.
Oh, I got one. What's his freaking face? Istred, when he was doing like his tests, he was able to read the phobia of the person across from him. What was the phobia?
Reading her
He
phobia.
was afraid. He was
No.
afraid of something.
No, when Istred when during his tests, like
Yeah,
the
he was
person
telling
across
Jan
from him.
Are you talking about the blowfish thing?
Was it?
Nah,
Was he? Was it? He was afraid of spiders or something.
it was a crazy phobia. I had to like look it up because I never heard this one before.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember him saying that one. I just remember when he was doing
I,
it. With,
I remember him talking about it, but I don't remember what he said the phobia was.
What's up, Chad? Anybody out there know which one? What phobia Istrid found out from the person sent across him? So some kind of medical term that I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, you got another one, Phantom? Or we gonna roll out?
Do I got another one? No, that was the only one.
Bada boom, bada
I
boom.
got one. I got one. What did the tailor's son have to like signify his strength in the
The ears of elves.
Yeah, he had the necklace of elf ears. Yep.
And why did he cut off those elf ears?
Because the elves killed his brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's gonna do it every day in his memory. Absolutely.
Which is so absurd. Ugh.
Yeah. Despicable, disgusting. But what's not disgusting is this show. I am absolutely loving it. We're running out in time, so we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody that came through with us. You already know we're going to be getting on to episodes 3 and 4 next week, next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So we hope everybody can come on back and hang out with us again. Thanks again for everybody coming down. Thanks for my host coming down this rabbit hole with me. And I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Till we see you next Tuesday, everybody. Be easy.
Peace.